"It's not about glorifying it," said Michael Copeland, a relative of one of those who fought at Passchendaele. "I died in hell." Sacrifice of war dead remembered at Passchendaele, the 31st of July. It would be worse than sad if that was the case. But it might be worth wondering about the vigorous encouragement for the public, and children in particular, to remember something which clearly none had experienced. This remembered event is a construction which generally follows a comfortable and politically convenient narrative. Crucially, what it fails to include is why 100 years later we have still not grasped that creating an enormous war-making machine underpinned by a militaristic mindset is a sure way to more misery. Perhaps statements such as Michael Copeland's are a hopeful sign that people are beginning to see that there is something unsatisfactory in this endless commemoration of the dead. It was not only the 20,000 or so conscientious objectors during the First World War who objected to that conflict. Many times more supported them actively and countless more passively. Surely it's time to give a thought to the living and start putting in place political and economic structures that minimize violent conflict and promote a better life for all. Jan Melichar Project Coordinator, Men Who Said No, Funerals Are Pretty Compared to Deaths, wrote Tennessee Williams. The same could be said about events marking the First World War. Watching the Passchendaele commemoration performed by professional actors and royals, backed by ranks of somber faces competing for attention with silly hats, brought to mind the words of the last Tommy, Harry Patch, who considered such events show business and nothing else. If relatives of the fallen gain comfort, that's fine. Most of us had family members involved in the First World War, but the notion that remembering the past prevents any repetition is sadly untrue. Europe may be relatively peaceful, but the presence of Theresa May and Defense Secretary Michael Fallon at the commemoration is a reminder that these days we export conflict by selling arms and expertise to repressive regimes like Saudi Arabia, who inflict death and destruction on predominantly civilian populations.